Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. I'm Cat Trans Gamer, and today I'm going to show you a few sub-assemblies that I found very useful. Alright, one of the most useful sub-assemblies I like to use is in space station building. So I'm going to grab just something that's the same diameter as the Rockomax brands. So I'll grab this monopropellant tank. And you might be used to using this Clampatron, the very big one. It works, it's nice. It works pretty good, the docking port senior. But if you've used it a lot, you might notice that it's wobbly. It takes forever to actually make a connection and secure the objects in place and stuff like that. So one of the things I like to build, and this is not a original design, I did not design this. I actually learned this off of YouTube, and I wish I could remember the actual author of this design, but unfortunately I do not. If I do find it, I will put it in the description. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to grab a Rockomax brand adapter 02. And then you're going to want to grab the BZ52 radial attachment points. And we're going to do this with snap mode right now, because you want this to be square. And what you do is you stretch this out to where it just folds over like that. Alright, we're going to rotate this. And when you go to rotate it, you might notice that you can't get it to level out. It's going to do this little offset. Just hold L1 or R1 and then push X on the rotation, and you'll be able to rotate it little tiny clicks at a time. If you let go of L1 before you let go of X, it's going to do that. So make sure you let go of X. And then we come down here to utility, not science. Grab a regular Clampatron docking port and snap them right into place like that. And I like to add some struts to give it a little more of a, you know, what it would really look like in space look to it. You don't really need to add these. This is preference. But I think it looks a little more natural that way. And the reason we did this so it's all lined up squared is because that way when you go to actually connect these things, everything will be squared off. So now what we do is we take this over, we come over here. If you don't see this menu, just hit this right here where enable advanced mode, and then you can come down to sub-assemblies. 1 second. Come on down to sub-assemblies, and we're going to pick up just the part from the plate. Pick up the plate with all the stuff we've put on there, and we bring it down to the sub-assembly drop zone. And what we're going to do is we're going to rename this. If you can add a description, I don't need a description because that name tells me exactly what I'm dealing with, and we save it. And what's nice about this is you can take it, flip it over, and voila. And when you come back in there and you grab this, you can grab it up, and you notice it comes in upside down. The reason it comes in upside down is because the main part, this, is originally designed upside down. So if we flip it over, we can attach it. But every once in a while, you'll grab it and it will do something like that when you flip it over. That's perfectly fine. All you gotta do is set it down and just rerun the struts. So make sure you're in 4 mode and just rerun the struts, just like this. If you don't want to deal with that, just don't put any struts on there at all until you're actually building it. This particular subassembly is going to help you build bigger, more secure space stations, or say you're actually building a interplanetary ship in space. You're building a really big ship that you can't normally launch off of Kerbin. Well, you can attach parts using the clampetrons and stuff like that. Well, by using this little 4-port clampetron, you'll be able to connect the bigger parts more securely. So say you're adding Rockomax fuel tanks with fairly large engines on it. So you're adding this tank here with, say, you want to add in this motor right here. With that fuel tank. That's a fairly large motor. So if you sit there and add in this clamp assembly, you'll be able to clamp it and it won't flex as much. So let's see, another handy dandy subassembly is this right here. And what this is a solar array. So all it is 6 of these panels, solar panels. And it's secured to crafts and space stations using the 2-port system. Or you can swap this piece out for a single port. Now I'll show you both the individual builds or differences in them. 1 second. Okay, there we go. 2 different ways you can build it. Is always start with this piece right here. We'll go ahead and flip that over. The modular grider adapter, and then grab the XL segment, and we're going to want 3 of those, or 3 is typically a good length. Then you just come in here and you want to grab the XL solar array. Make sure you're putting 2 of these on. And what I do is I always put them right on the center X. And I always put them off to the side like this. Because by putting them on the center X, what this does is it gives you a little bit of room in between here to place other things. So you can come in here if you need a little bit more solar power. Where is it? You can place in the 1x6. And what you do is you place it right like that. And then you offset it to be center on the lines. Oops, gotta turn off snap mode for this. And I always like to rotate them 180 degrees like that, because when these open up, I'll show you here, they've got this little flat panel right there that extends out. So what it does is it gives you little bit more solar power right there. It's not much, but it does give you a little bit. And that's using the 1x6 panels. I mean, to give you an example, electrical charge 1.6 per second. So that's a total of what? Quick math, we're looking at almost 100 electrical charge per minute off of one of those. And versus this panel that gives you 24.4 per sec or second. So it's a big difference going from that to this. It's 24 times more. But that little bit extra power in those four spaces might make the difference. So let's go ahead and close these up. And you can throw batteries in there, other stuff like that. The one thing I would not do, and I will show you that in I would not go ahead and place more solar panels just like this. And I'll show you why here in just a second. I'll go ahead and place them right there, just so you see. Okay. Now let's go ahead and retract this panel. Come on, zoom in. There we go. Now, the two separate connecting points you can do with this. You can literally place a clampetron right there on the end and make it a single port clampetron. Or you can come over here to structural, come on down to the very bottom, and you want to find the stack bicoupler. Or you can use the stack tricoupler or the stack quad coupler. But I use the bicoupler. You flip it over, place it down, and then you can put down clampetrons just like this. And then you've got a 2-port clampetron. Which all that is it gives it a little more stability. But with this, there's not much mass on it. So you don't really have to worry about that. Now, what I was talking about the solar panels, I will show you. Let me flip this over. What I want to do real quick is just make life a little bit easier. I'm going to add this to a custom action 1. I'm going to add, nope, not the strut. Toggle panels. All right. Now I'll see you on the launch pad. Alright, so now we're on the launch pad. Come over to custom actions 1, and you see the panels extend, which is nice, but they're going to automatically rotate to go to the sun. And now you've got panels clipping through panels. So that's why I don't normally do that. I usually just leave them all up in one row. Because if you're angled just right, you could end up literally having panels clipping through other panels just to get to the sun. But it's your own preference. And there you go. There's the 2 different types of solar arrays I typically use. And you can make them a little bit longer if you want. Change the mounting however you want them. But what this does is this helps you out with space station building. And another space station helper is this piece right here. Now, you don't really need to make a subassembly out of this because you can easily just come in here and put them in one at a time. But I like to make a subassembly out of these, just because it saves time ultimately. When you go to build it. So I'm going to go ahead and add this in. Oh yeah, that's right. Selected part is not attachable. I forgot about that. To fix that, I'm going to come in with the clampatron. And then place another clampatron. It's not attachable because you can't subassembly the main structure you're building. So come back to the clampatron. And then once you get it built like that, you can now take it over to Subassemblies and add it. So there we go. And now when I go ahead and pull it out, whoops, not the solar array, the clampatron, 6-sided, it now has one point I can connect to. So once I place it, then if you wanted to add more stuff to it, it opens up the rest of the sides. So there you go. There's a couple of parts ideas for building your space station. You got this piece right here, which is for doing Rockomax or 2.5 meter builds. You've got your one of your solar assembly arrays right here. I didn't save the other solar array just because, you know, what I do is I just have this one, and if I want to build a regular one, all I do is I take this part off and swap it out. I still have this assembly here. I can just place it into place. And then you've got your clampatron 6-sided, which I'll place right here at the bottom. Right there. So 3 simple attachments that will actually speed up your space station builds, because this gives you 6 ports to connect to. Just like that. Voila. Now you've connected a 6-sided to the 4-port and your solar array. So if you like this video, thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe, and you'll see videos when you'll get notified when I upload a new video. And until next time, bye.